morning, boys and girls, and welcome to chapel. It's such a wonderful privilege for me to be able to share God's word with you this morning as we carry on in our series looking at the Gospel of Mark. Now, you remember that Mark is showing us that Jesus is both God and that he is the Christ. He wants us to know those two things. And so everything that he writes about in his Gospel is to show us that Jesus is the Christ. In other words, he's the Messiah. He's the promised one who would save people from their sins, and that he's also God in the flesh. He's not just a man like any other man, but he's actually God. Now, last week we saw that that was true because Jesus calms a massive storm. The disciples were afraid that they were going to die because there was such a big storm. They went and they found Jesus sleeping in the stern of the ship, and Jesus gets up and he tells the storm to be quiet, to be still. And the most amazing thing happens. The storm listens to Jesus and it is completely still. And the disciples, who were only a moment ago afraid of losing their lives from the storm, are now far more afraid of who Jesus is, because they know that this is not just any man, but this man has great power. Today we're looking at the next part of that story, where Jesus lands on the other side of the lake. And as he's getting out the boat, we read in Mark chapter 5 that a demon-possessed man comes to Jesus and he falls at his feet. Now we read from Mark chapter 5 in verse 1, and as it carries on in the story, that this demon-possessed man was in a very horrible place in his life. We're told that he was all alone, that he lived in the tombs, that many times people had tried to shackle him with chains. They tried to tie him up with chains and to lock him up, but every time they did that, he was so strong that he was able to break the chains and chase them away. But this wasn't his strength. This was the power of evil, and it was so strong that this man was under the control of these demons. But luckily, Jesus arrives on this side of the lake, and this man runs up to Jesus and he falls at Jesus' feet and he cries out at the top of his voice, "Jesus, what do you have to do with me, Son of the Most High God?" Now, he says this because Jesus asked the demons to get out of the man. And the demons are unwilling to do that. They don't want to do that. They don't want to be judged yet. And so they asked Jesus instead, "Could you let us go into a herd of pigs?" It happened to be a herd of pigs. So Jesus said to him, "Well, what's your name?" And the demon answers, "My name is Legion." Now, Legion is a military word. It's a military word for a large amount of people in an army. The Romans, they had legions, which is a large army, a large amount of soldiers. And so there were lots and lots of demons in this man. In fact, a legion could have from 3,000 to 5,000 Roman soldiers. So there are so many demons in this man that he is completely overwhelmed. But what happens? Jesus tells and gives the demons permission and says, "Yes, you can go into the pigs." And they do. They leave the man, they go into the pigs. The pigs run down on the side of the side of the lake, and they run into the lake. They all drown, and everyone is amazed and shocked at what has just happened. This man who Jesus took the demons out, he's left there standing in his right mind. He's okay, and he's free from the demons. Now, it's an amazing story. It's an amazing story because it teaches us two things. The first thing it teaches us is that Jesus is stronger than evil. The demons ask Jesus for permission. Notice that? They ask Jesus for permission to get out of the man. They're afraid of Jesus. They can see that Jesus is far more powerful, far stronger than what they are. Even though they're many, even though they're called a legion, Jesus is even greater and even stronger than a legion of evil demons. And so Jesus says, "You have permission to go into the pigs." And they do. They leave the man immediately. So Jesus is stronger than evil. But the second thing that this story teaches us is that Jesus is able to save us from the power of evil from the power of sin, even from the power of death. And that is why he's come. He's come to rescue you and I from sin. And he shows that he's able to do that. He shows that he's able to overcome evil by chasing this legion of demons out of the man. And they have no choice but to leave. If Jesus has that much strength, then he can certainly save you and I from our sin. And so Jesus comes and he shows us that he is God, that he is the Messiah who would save us from sin, and that he is far more powerful. He is way stronger than the evil in this world, than the evil that this man struggled with and was fighting against. I hope that you're all keeping healthy and safe. I hope that you're all well. I've enjoyed doing class with you all again. It's so nice to see your faces. And if I haven't seen you already, I look forward to seeing you again. But until that time, God bless and stay safe and stay healthy. Goodbye.